To start today, I'm going to introduce your guys' new spelling words to you. Our new spelling words this week are going to be similar to last week, where we have singular nouns, and we are going to be working to make those nouns plural. Now, the nouns we're working with this week have an interesting pattern that we're going to be following, and they're going to be ones where they end in a certain sound, and we change that to have the VES to it. So this is unique because there's a handful of words, but it's not a pattern we're going to follow over and over. This list is not one where we can look and be like, oh, I see this and I can change this. You have to start to know, okay, knife turns into knives. I don't say knives. It sounds very similar. Knives, knife. But we have that change where it becomes the F turns to a V, and then to make it plural, we add that ES, okay? And that's going to be kind of the pattern that we follow through this week, but you have to know that doesn't work for every single time you come with a word that ends this way. This is going to be more unique to words like we're doing today. So our first one is knife, and our plural form of knife is?
Knives.
Knives. We'll go through some of these on here together. Next up, our word is? Life. So with life, it's going to follow that same pattern where we see that FE. And in order to make it plural, what is the plural form of life?
Lives.
Lives. So you might have one life, but they say cats have 9 lives. Okay, that's they say. It's like an old wives' tale. But we're going to do that same pattern where we're going to take that F off and we change it to the VES when we make it plural. So it's following that same pattern, the FE, and we change it over to the VES. Our next word is? Wife. I am my husband's wife, but oftentimes a bunch of the wives get together and we hang out. He can't have more than one, so right? So wives, it's more than one. My husband's friends, they all live around here, and the wives will get together while they all hang out. Wives. Same pattern. This one ends in that FE. We're going to change that FE to a VES. Kind of see our next word already. Our next word is half. I will eat half of my lunch. This is one where we think it's that fraction piece, right? So half. But if we're talking about more than one half, we say halves. Halves. So this is half to halves. HALVES. So it still has that L in there because it's not halves. She halves. What? No. Halves. Like 3 halves. That would be I have a half, which makes a whole, and then another half. 3 halves. It's a fraction. Our next one is the word wolf. Plural for wolf is?
Wolves.
Again, we take that F and we change it to a VES. Good. Our next one, we have loaf. I bought 1 loaf of bread. My husband said it wasn't enough, so I went back and bought 4 loaves of bread. Loaves. Again, we take that F and we change it to a VES. Next up, we have elf. We have a neighbor, and I guess it's like an elf for a gnome, and they had 1 in their yard, and then all of a sudden overnight, they didn't have 1 elf in their yard. It multiplied, and they had like 20 elves in their yard. Again, that F changes to a, yeah, for sure. It was so weird. Leaf. Fall starts when a leaf will fall off the tree, and before you know it, there are thousands of
Leaves.
all over the ground. It's okay. Yep, thief is next. In our first story that we read this year, a thief stole the ring, right? Yeah. Yeah, the thief stole the ring, the king's ring. Remember? In Sargas?
I thought you meant in the Wind of the Willow.
No, Sargas. Sargas, a thief stole the ring. All the people were out looking for the thieves, whoever could have stolen it. Thieves, that's more than one. Shelf. We have a shelf back there to put books on in our classroom. We have a shelf over there to put things on in our classroom. But there's not just one, there's more than one, so we call them our
Shelves.
Our shelves. We take that F off and we put the VES. And then we have self. Like, I can do this by myself. Or maybe I'm talking about someone else and I say they can do it themselves. So it's more talking about someone else. Or we can do it ourselves, where there's more than one self, more than one person, but you would be referring to yourself. Brock. And then our bonus words are before and
Please.
please. Very good. Before and please. We will be practicing these more. This will be kind of that morning at work throughout the next time. But this is that plural where this is unique. You aren't going to have necessarily a pattern to follow, but those words end in the F or the FE, and you're taking it off, and you're replacing it with a VES to make it plural. Again, this isn't super, super common, but we need to start to see when this is going to happen. Sound good? Okay, we are going to look at our words and read through them together. You see my little mouse up there? That'll tell you which one we are looking at to read as a group. We'll read the singular and then jump over to the plural. Got it? We have
Knives.
and,
Knives.
we have
Lives.
and,
Lives.
loud and proud. We have
Wives.
and,
Wives. Halves.
and,
Halves.
wolf, and,
Wolves.
loaf, and,
Loaves.
elf, and elves, leaf, and
Leaves.
thief, and
thieves.
shelf, and
shelves.
self, and
self.
our bonus words are before and please. These are the words you guys are going to be practicing through the week. The biggest takeaway is that these are kind of a unique pattern where it's not going to work for every single thing, but definitely for these ones right now.